Good morning, everyone. How you all doing? It's Sal Stretford Post. I hope you're all doing well and welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing right. I hope everyone's doing all right. Look, you know what? I spend half my time arguing with people about Man United, arguing with people. Why are they arguing with me? I hear you scream. Why are they arguing with you, Sal? Because they just can't stop bloody moaning. They can't stop moaning. Nothing's going to be done this season until the end of the season. Then we can start making a decision about the future and stuff and blah, 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 blah. Is Ruben Amorim going to be supported? Is he going to have his team in there? And then people I'm seeing on big channels talking about, have we seen an improvement? Have we seen an improvement in the squad, fella? Where's the improvement in the squad, fella? Have we seen an improvement? Are these people dunce? Are they thick? That's what I want to know. I want to know. My lovely ding, 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 ding. I want to know what's going on with these people. I don't know whether they dropped on their heads. I don't know what's going on. But you know what? They talk with very corporate voices and they think they know everything. The overriding similarity between the last few years, and the overriding similarity between Eric Ten Hag and Ruben Amorim. What is it? What is it, guys? Apart from one player and two less players, to be honest. You've got Anthony and you've got Rashford who've left. It's the same squad. It's the same squad. It's the same players. And then people are still like, oh, have we seen an improvement? Have we seen an improvement? But have we seen an improvement? You can lead a cow to the river. It doesn't mean they're going to drink from the river. You can teach Peter Crouch how to become prime Ronaldinho. It doesn't mean Peter Crouch is going to be Ronaldinho. Does it? It's not going to happen. Is it? It's not going to happen. It just doesn't make any sense. But this is the whole dumbness that I'm seeing right now. I think I have to dumb myself down these days. You know what I mean? But I tell you what.
Fuck off.
I'm not dumbing myself down. You know what I mean? No way am I dumbing myself down, to be honest with you. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, do these guys actually watch football or are they just WWE fans or boxing fans? Is that what they are? You know what? Maybe they should just pretend they like American football and basketball. You know what I mean? Just to get some more views and clicks. Because that's what these channels do, don't they? I want to pretend I'm interested in American football so I can get an American audience. I mean, at the end of the day, where are we? Where are we with this? And to be honest, all I care about is Manchester United. That's all I care about. If I'm being real to you guys. That's all I care about. Let's read through some of your comments, guys. Big up, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Kenny. Good day to you too, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Not even checked on Twitter in the last few days. There you go. Good idea, Ken. Big up, Sal. Big up, everyone. Big up, Steve. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're good. The problem with that is that this fan base think they are tacticals and financial accountants. Exactly, Kenny. They don't look at things in context. When you don't look at things in context, why is it me? Why is it me that has been a fan, and I can prove I've been a fan for nearly 40 years? Why am I understanding? Shouldn't I be the one who is questioning the manager? Because I know standards. I've seen standards. I've been at the grounds where we won major trophies. But shouldn't it be me who is questioning the manager? Why am I not questioning the manager? Why not? I wonder. You know what I mean? But maybe because I understand the situation. Maybe because I know how success comes about when you're in the depths of losing your job. I understand that. Maybe it's that. People knew that this week is all about the Europa League. We knew Liverpool were going to win the league in January. I did anyway. I don't know about anyone else. I already set my mind up knowing that Liverpool were going to win the league. I knew they would. I couldn't see Arsenal doing anything. There was no competitor for Liverpool this season. In my eyes, there was no competitor for Liverpool. Liverpool had a free run, as well as help from the referees as well. They had a free run to the title. The only thing Liverpool fans, let me tell Liverpool fans, right, this. Just because you win the league doesn't mean you've got to start going out there and calling Sir Alex Ferguson a fraud. Mate, you won 2 titles in 35 years. If Alex Ferguson was still in charge of Man United, you still have 0 in 35 years, my friend. So just pipe down and calm down. Calm your jets. Calm your bloody jets, Liverpool fans. You know what I mean? I know you're excited. I know it's a bit like when you're getting your new bloody roast dinner from the taxpayers' money. I know it's like that. But at the end of the day, just calm down, mate. Alex Ferguson's the greatest manager of all time. Just calm your tits, right? Calm your tits at the end of the day. Absolutely. Calm your greasy ass fish and chips Savoy tits. That's what it is at the end of the day. Okay. Rasta, there's only one football I know, and I played on the pitch, and I live in America, and American sports is boring to me. I have nothing against American sports. I watch the WWE, Rasta, only because I like the WWE. I think it's entertaining myself. You know, at the end of the day, I watch that. I have nothing against that. But I see people doing a lot of like basketball watch-alongs and American football watch-alongs, trying to appease the American audience, not being real, basically, Rasta. You know, you're real. There's a lot of people not being real. They're pretending, and you know what? It's like a cesspit of it, isn't it? It's a cesspit of fakery, fuckeries, fakeries, whatever you want to call it. And you know what I mean? It's madness at the end of the day. Steve, fans know this because to be 3+ year project, yet they expect us to win every game still. They're bonkers. Steve, you know what I would say? You're absolutely right. And Ruben Amorim's already told us. Ruben Amorim's already told us it's going to get painful. There's going to be suffering. He's already told us. What are they expecting? Now, many of us, like myself included, knew that things wouldn't improve once Erik ten Hag leaves, because the problems at Man United stem much higher than the actual what's going on the pitch. There is an absolute habit at Manchester United, a culture at Man United that, you know what, needs to be fixed, because at the moment, we don't have any philosophy. We have no culture at the football club. We have a mentality where it's okay to be bad. Bloody hell, we're like woke FC. We're like woke FC. It's okay to fail. It's okay. Here's your prize for the best loser. You know what I mean? We're not Arsenal, guys. And we got to get rid of that culture. Do you know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day. And a culture, a winning habit, stems from the beginning. And I was watching an interview of Ryan Giggs, right, with Rio Ferdinand. And they were talking about when players would first sign for the football club and how they would be purposely pass the ball with the wrong pace. Not to purposely annoy the new player who's come in. In this instance, it was Rio Ferdinand. But sort of to keep them on their toes, to piss them off, so to speak, to get them annoyed. And you know what? To get them ready for training. Little things, little things about wanting to win. Going out there and training and wanting to win. And it's something that we're missing these days. We haven't got that. And this is the culture that we need to change. Kenny, whatever the outcome in this season, Amorim deserves a full season. He deserves a window, a couple of windows more. He deserves a full season. Now, look, I am extremely excited about the game against Athletic Bilbao. I've seen a lot of Athletic Bilbao over the last few weeks. I've seen them play. I watched the game when they lost at home to Osasuna. And I do think they can be got at. It does look like Nico Williams won't be playing in the game, which is only going to be good news for Man United. I don't know whether they're just doing this to call a bluff or something, or just to try and, play mind games and stuff like that. But Nico Williams will be an extremely big plus. But Man United have got to concentrate on themselves. And Man United have got to go out there on Thursday and make sure that they win that game. You know what I mean? That's it. I would like a lead going into the second leg. I think we've been close to it the last couple of games, but haven't quite pulled it off. We were close against Lyon. We were close against Sociedad. But I think that we can do it. There's a lot of pessimism. There's a lot of, we're not going to beat Bilbao. Anyone thinks we're going to beat Bilbao is bloody stupid. These are the sort of comments I'm getting on Twitter, guys. These are the sort of things I'm seeing on Twitter. I mean, I'm seeing these kind of things. These bums coming out there. You know what I mean? I'm seeing, like, idiots with big platforms talking about Alex Ferguson, how, you know what I mean, and things like that. And to be honest with you, just dumb. They don't support Man United. You know what I mean? They don't support Man United. Let me tell you something about it. The way they talk about Man United, do you honestly think these bums support Man United? They don't. They're Tottenham fans. We all know who they are. Big up, Rasta. My uncle introduced me in a beautiful game. Big up. Yes, Rasta. Big up yourself. Need to make you aware, Sal, that as the channel grows, unfortunately, you're going to inherit this crazy fans. Hope you're prepared for the rubbish. I'm prepared, mate. The thing is, one thing about me, Steve, that separates me from other people, at least I like to think so, is that I don't care. Because I'm not like those other fan channels just care about clicks and likes. I mean, it's nice to get support, and I love it, and I love the community. I think they're brilliant, yourself included, Steve. But one thing I would say is that I don't care if people fall off the gravy train, because I care about Manchester United. My sole focus is Manchester United winning again. I want to go back to those days where we're winning again. I want to be on this stream where we're winning again. I could spot fake Man United supporters for a mile off, right? When you've been a Man United fan for close to 4 decades, 10, God bless me, but 4 decades, when you've been a fan for Man United for 4 decades, you tend to grasp personalities and characteristics of people who pretend to be United fans. And you look at it and you think, you're not really a Man United fan. You're not. You're just a faker. You're just trying to blag it. You're trying to chance it. That's what you're trying to do at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. We can beat Bell. It's a cup. Absolutely. And what has been a good thing about Man United this last 2 years, Kenny? 3 years, I would say. Cup competition. We've been good at cups. We won a League Cup. We won an FA Cup. You know what I mean? We done all right in cups. One-off games. And we're not talking about Real Madrid here. We're not talking about Barcelona here. We're not even talking about Atletico Madrid here. We're talking about Athletic Bilbao, guys. Athletic Bilbao, who can't play anyone in their team who's not Basque. You know? I mean, it's going to be a difficult game. I'm not underestimating Bilbao. Absolutely not. But, you know, to act like they're just prime Barcelona or prime Real Madrid, I think, you know, come on, guys. Come on. We've beaten Arsenal this season with 10 men, right? We've gone toe-to-toe with the champions Liverpool at Anfield. We've beaten Man City away. We should not fear Athletic Bilbao. Absolutely not, especially if they're missing their main player, Nico Williams. I mean, imagine they're missing their main player, Nico Williams, as well. Good morning, Ephraim. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And one saying you do now think, no, is the bigger, do you think now Liverpool's, no, I don't, Ephraim. No, I don't. And there's a number of reasons I don't think they're the biggest club in England. And I'll tell you why. Man United's size comes from our history, right? And without Manchester United, English football would be nowhere near as big as it is right now. And that I'm not just saying that because I'm a Man United fan. Liverpool are the most successful club in England right now. And we have to admit that and hold our hands up. But over the last 30 years, Man United have still been more successful than Liverpool. When we look at things, the grand scheme of things, Liverpool have won 2 titles in 35 years. Man United have won 13. You know, so let's talk about the recent now, right? Yes, they're a better football team than us. I know. I'm not delusional. But one thing I would say is that to be bigger than Man United, the fact that Man United, right, played in the Europa League quarter-final against Lyon and we outshone Arsenal in their win against Real Madrid. We outshone Arsenal. No one cares about Liverpool's victory. No one cares. No one's out there talking about Liverpool apart from unless you bring it up. No one cares the fact they won the league. People are talking about Man United against Bilbao. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about Man United against Bilbao because Man United are the biggest club in England. That's why. We always rise up on occasions only against lower teams we can't play. Absolutely, Lisa. And Bilbao, you would call them a decent team. So hopefully we turn up. Hopefully we turn up. Christian, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. The Europa League is written in the stars. Every season we go for a bigger trophy. And if they can't see it through luck, luck plays a part in cup competitions. You're absolutely right, Christian. Luck does play a part in cup competitions. We can't argue with that. We won the treble with luck, let's be honest. I think Man United have got the stars written in their favour for Thursday's game. I think that Man United, and I believe if Man United win against Bilbao, I think Man United will end up winning the Europa League because I believe that Bilbao is the toughest game left in the competition. I know Tottenham. I know that there's Tottenham. I know that Tottenham have had a better of us this season. I know they've beaten us a couple of times. I know that. You don't need to tell you 3 times they've beaten us this season. But at the end of the day, I think in a one-off game, in a neutral environment, a cup competition, Man United have more experience and know how to get the job done than Tottenham. So I think that if Man United beat Bilbao, which I believe is the hardest game in the tournament, I think they have no reason why they can't believe they're going to win the Europa League. I mean, if someone said to you guys, if someone gave you the scenario, right, where Man United were in the Champions League, right? Man United were in the Champions League, and they said to you, right, in the semi-final, you're going to play Bilbao. In the final, you're going to play Tottenham. You would snap their hands off, right? If it was the Champions League. Now, we have to look at the levels that we want to go to. We have to look at those levels that we want to go to. We want to be in the Champions League. Now, we shouldn't be worried about Bilbao and Tottenham and Bodo Glimt. At the end of the day, we shouldn't be worried about those teams. We should be confident that we're going to go out there and we're going to win the game. Absolutely. Argentine star Franco, who's going to be sold in the summer, he would be a 26 target, and what target that he would be. Yale, everyone knows I was one of the first channels to mention, probably the first channel to mention Franco Mastantuono months ago in the summer, and he would be a magnificent signing. He is on Manchester United's radar. But as with everything with Manchester United, as we bring on Franco Mastantuono, as with everything with Man United, we tend to take our time. And with everything in life, you know, people catch on to it. Now, Mastantuono will be a fabulous signing for Manchester United. People know he will be a fabulous signing for Man United. His release clause is 38 million, of course. Only 38 million, right? He can play attacking midfielder. He can play right midfielder. He is a left footer. He's an inverted winger, so to speak. His contract expires in a year. So his release clause is 38 million euros. Only 17 years old. Those who are watching, did you see his free kick the other day against Boca Juniors? Did you see against Boca Juniors? That is the talent we're talking about here, right? And there's players out there in South America, many players who Man United have been spoken about. We never seem to get those deals over the line. We never seem to get them. We always seem to let them go to Bilbao, or let them go to Liverpool, or let them go to Ajax, or let them go to Inter Milan. Right? And what we do is that we end up having to pay ridiculous money for them because they become really good players. Anyone and his dog, any man and his dog can see that Mastantuono is going to be a great player. But the problem is with Man United, we snooze, we lose. You know, and this is like Quenda. You know what I mean? We snooze, we lose. We don't get the deal done. Now, that could be a financial thing. Of course it is, with Ineos in charge. Ineos are set to cut further 200 jobs as well again, guys. Unbelievable. And I feel for those people. It's really bad. You know, and we're just not on the ball. You know, we're talking about getting the next in class. We're talking about sitting there, legs crossed, talking about, well, I want to get the next Mbappe. Well, so far, what I see, we've lost Quenda and we're going to lose Mastantuono if we're not careful. Right, so we're looking at the next up-and-coming players here, Mr. Jim Ratcliffe. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to get him, this next Mbappe, or are you just going to talk crap and look for the cheaper options? £1 million players, looking in the reserves of Arsenal or looking in the reserves of Liverpool and trying to find someone. You're not going to do anything like that. You're not going to win anything like that, unfortunately. Spurs might make it. Bodo Glimt, injured striker, is back training. Hopefully, Bodo Glimt can do it. Inshallah, absolutely, Rasta. Big up, Rasta. Spurs will lose to Bodo Glimt. They are a good team to watch. Hopefully, I hope so. PSG have entered talks for Franco. Yes, they have. Yep. Snooze, you lose, Leeson. Snooze, you lose. Just reminding everyone, Bilbao finished one place above United in Europa table by a single point. They're not a peak Real Madrid. Exactly. They're not. And I wouldn't pay too much attention about the Europa League, the EU League stage, because every single team didn't play the same teams away from home and at home. It's a very unfair league. You know, I think Man United had Man United in the Europa League, right? The league stage didn't play anyone below the bottom half. They played everyone at the top half. Man United, in theory, have had the hardest run in the Europa League than most teams. And now I believe we got the hardest semi-final as well. Yale, there was a odd contract. Franco contract ending 226. I could not see if he got a release clause. He got a new contract last year. He's got a 38 million release clause, Charlie. Got 38 million release clause. It was part of the deal. It was part of the deal to sign a new contract because his initial valuation was 15 million, and they wanted to raise that. They wanted to raise the stakes for that. And that is the only reason that Franco Mastantuono stayed for a further year on his contract, which was an option, by the way. How they think they're signing young players will make the fans patient. The fans, look, Ephraim, people already turning against Dorgu. People already right now turning against Dorgu. It's absolutely unbelievable. How people can even fathom how we're going to be patient with this fan base. Madness. Do you think United can seal Ederson deal in the summer? I would love that, Paul. Everyone knows my stance on Ederson. Everyone knows I want Ederson. It depends. It depends who we can get rid of. If we sold Casemiro, I think we can make it happen. Man United signing Cunha. Cunha is going to be about 60 million. So Man United signing Cunha is a lot of money. So we're going to have to find pennies from somewhere. You know, if we get rid of Rashford, Anthony, Luke Shaw, Casemiro, you know, who else? Mason Mount, you know, these type of players, then maybe we can get Ederson. If we get Ederson and Cunha and a striker, even just those three would improve us immensely. The league starts normal time in Argentina. I think it starts about September. If I'm not wrong, Yale. If I'm not wrong, it starts about September. But they have those odd contracts. They always have those odd contracts in Argentina. I don't know why they have the December the 31st contracts. That's what they do. We must sign Franco and loan him back for one season. Listen, I would love to get him. Whether we loan him back or not, I think Man United need to strike that deal. That guy's a talent. I mean, you see that free kick against Boca Juniors. Did you see that free kick against Boca? Unbelievable. Would love to see Jasari at United. What do you think? He's a brilliant player, Leeson. I would love to see him as well. Look, there's great players out there, guys. There is great players out there that Man United can capture, you know. And to be honest with you, but the problem with Man United is we don't act quick enough. You know, with players like Arden Jasari, you know, I mean, he's nicknamed the Swiss Casemiro, Arden Jasari. Arden Jasari is nicknamed the Swiss Casemiro. So he's the young Casemiro. 31 games this season, roughly. 3 goals, 4 assists. You know, at the end of the day, look, great player. You know, great player. And it's one that Man United should try and go after. And I've heard a lot about Jasari, but I'm not hearing enough in regards to Manchester United. He plays for Club Brugge. 25 million valuation around that. He's already got 2 caps for Switzerland as well. The great thing about Arden Jasari, he can play as a central midfielder and he can play as a defensive midfielder, which is great. Left footer. Why don't Man United go for these players? Why can't we act quickly? They're not expensive. So why can't we act quickly? That is the key. Paul, rate out of 10 Cunha signing available in the market. For me, I think it's 7, Paul. I would say a 7. I'm excited and apprehensive at the same time. I'm excited about the signing, but I'm also nervous about it. It's like a cautious optimism kind of thing going on with me. Because obviously, he's coming from Wolves. You know what I mean? He's a good player. Is he the player I would have chose? No. But I think with the Premier League experience, I think it's a big upgrade to what we got. I really do. Steve, I believe there's going to be 2 transfer windows this year because of the Club World Cup. Do you think we'll get anyone between the 10th and June? Steve, I mean, Man United could just about deal with 1 transfer window, let alone 2 transfer windows, the way we're going on at the moment. The biggest concern I have, guys, and I hate to bring this into the show, but it is a concern, is the African nations. Man United will lose Mazrui. Man United will lose Onana. Man United will also lose Ahmad for the African nations, guys. And it is a bit of a pickle that we're going to be in. So Man United definitely need a replacement goalkeeper. 100% need a replacement goalkeeper because you know what? We're going to end up playing a reserve in goal for however long for example, Cameroon are in the African nations, we're gonna need a replacement for Onana, because quite possibly with Cameroon he could go to the latter stages of the African nations, of course, you know. So we're going to need players to recover those positions as well. We're in December when the African nations is going on, and we're going to need as many players as we can. Big up, Amir. We believe in you, Sir Amran. Big up. The problem with Franco Matsutani is he a project player. He won't contribute for a couple of years. Chelsea, I would do what the other guy said. I'll get him and loan him out. But what I would say, I've watched a lot of him, Al-Mac. He's going to be a star. He's going to be a star. Trust me, mate. He's going to be a star. And Charles, he's the biggest thing coming out of Argentina at the moment. I think he will be good. And if PSG want him, just like I said in the summer, people were talking like you when I was talking about Doué. People were telling me, oh, Doué, no, he's going to be, is he a project player or not? I don't call players good if they're not good. I don't. I actually research players. It's secretly as slow as possible, Amarim. It's improving slightly. Yeah, it's improving slightly. It's not to the level that we want, of course, but it will improve. Now, guys, another player that has been linked with Man United for many, many years. It seems like years, isn't it? It's a player called Denzel Dumfries. Now, Denzel Dumfries is a Dutch international player, currently plays for Inter Milan. Now, it is pretty obvious that Man United are going to be linked with the likes of Denzel Dumfries, given that he is like a wing back, isn't he? Right wing back, left wing back. He's around market value is about 28 million. And it is said that Inter Milan are looking to raise some funds for the summer and would be willing to sell Denzel Dumfries. I mean, Denzel Dumfries has been at Inter Milan a very long time. He's got 63 caps for Holland, 9 goals. But it just seems like, how do I think about Dumfries? Dumfries reminds me of Schneider. You know Wesley Schneider, when we were always after Wesley Schneider and we always in the market for a new striker. We're always in that market. And he just reminds me of that. And to be honest with you, I believe it when I see it. He is 29. Experience, of course. Philosophy. Are they going to ditch that philosophy? Someone needs to tell them that you can't just buy all kids. You can't do it. Man United are desperate need for experience. Man United are in desperate need for experience, in my opinion. So Denzel Dumfries is another one. Of course, Must Antuano worry me, Sal? We've not got a good history of South American players. No, we don't. But you never know. That could change. The tide could change. We had good... Cavani did all right. Heinz did all right until his attitude changed. Of course, his agent was a big problem. Veron was unfair because, Scholes and Keane were there. That was unfair. I'm not going to blame Veron, but Veron's better than anything we've got right now. I would say that. Leach has done well, apart from the injuries. Romero did well. Absolutely. Casemiro's done okay since he's been at Man United, to be honest with you. It's just his age, which has got him down. So, yeah, I won't paint everyone with the same brush. People think scouting player for a week a team is bad sign, but always remember Van der Vaart came from Southampton, Ronnie from Everton. Absolutely. But I would say, Paul, Ronnie was just a generational. Rooney, Wazza was a generational. And you can tell it with your own eyes. Even Van Dijk, you can tell he was always going to be a great player. In regards to Wazza was just incredible. And the reason we knew about Wazza is because of the European Championships in 2004. If Rooney was playing in the European Championships in 2004, England should have won it anyway. They were cheated out of that again. But if Rooney played in that, didn't get injured in the Euro 2004, England would have won that European Championships easily as well. He was a blatant generational, and he was doing it from a young age as well. 16 years old. 16 years old, he was doing it. He was a world class before we even knew, People knew Rooney was world class in the youth team. Have you heard about that Rooney guy? Have you heard about that Rooney guy? And it was like that, back then. So nowadays, it's like we're looking at players and thinking, good. They're good, they're good, but they're not like Rooney good. You're not getting any players as good as that anymore. At the end of the day, there you go. We don't have that. That is what you call the street footballer that I've been talking about a lot of times. The street footballer, of course. When people say he has to improve the players, why he has to do that when they are not his players? Because people who say that, Ephraim, don't have any general knowledge about the game, and people who say that are people already against Ruben Amorim and sacrifice their self, whether indirectly or directly, sacrifice themselves in being Ruben Amorim out. Stupidity. There's people who run big platforms who are against Ten Hag. Not Ten Hag, against Ruben Amorim, who were against Ruben Amorim. They were against Ten Hag as well, and they were been proven wrong again, by the way. Ten Hag outers have been proven wrong, by the way. They haven't been proven right. They've been proven wrong, right? And the thing is, right, is that there's many people who have these big platforms who question Ruben Amorim, but they don't want to be questioned about their opinion. They don't want to be questioned. I see it on a lot of channels now. I see it on the United View. Ben, I see it with him. He's against Ruben Amorim. You can tell he's against Ruben Amorim. But the overriding fact is that he's not keeping in context that this is not his team. It's actually less because he's lost players. He's lost Anthony. He's lost Rashford. He's lost Malacia. And they haven't been replaced. Only Dorgu's come in, a young player has come in. And that wasn't his choice, by the way, because we wanted Dorgu in last summer. And I spoke about Dorgu last summer. So there's many people who don't really understand the context. That's why I don't really call them football fans or United fans. They just don't resemble a United fan to me. He's still playing ball, Yale. He's still there doing well. Valencia. Big up, Valencia. Big up, everyone. Big up, Pearl. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Rooney showed his world class. It was just absolutely. But at this point, we have to keep our hopes from players like Cunha. It's going to be difficult, Paul. As me, I've been a fan for a long, long time. I've seen a lot of players come and go. I've seen better players than Cunha not make it at Man United. And that is what I'm saying. Veron was better than Cunha. And there are many players that have not made it at Man United who, in my opinion, have been better than Cunha. But I hope that Cunha becomes good. I mean, he's got his Premier League experience. It can't be judged too much because he's played for Wolves. You see me, I look at things in context. Even if he's not the player I wanted, I will look at things in context. And I will look at the fact that he scored a few goals this season, not his best season, not as good as his first season, but I will look at Cunha and say he's an upgrade. Hell yeah, he's an upgrade. But then we look at what we're going to do with Ahmad, what we're going to do with Garnacho. And we have to look at, can Ahmad play on the right wing? I don't think he can. And the reason I don't think Ahmad can play on the right wing is because he's not defensively astute, right? And to be honest with you, I would rather a specialized wing back. You know what I mean? But if we do get Cunha, that's the only choice for me with Ahmad. I think he'll have to play right wing back. But then again, if he plays right wing back, what's going to happen with Dalot? You know what I mean? Is he going to drop Dalot? I mean, it doesn't look like he wants to drop Dalot, does it? Prime Rooney, Ronaldo, Prime Tevez. So how many teams were afraid of? We were magnificent, mate. Magnificent, Leeson. It was unbelievable. I mean, I didn't appreciate it back then the way I should appreciate it now. Like, I didn't appreciate it back then. The way I feel right now, I felt like it would last forever. I really did. I felt like having those players, having such a winning team, it just felt like it lasts forever because I saw all of it, 20-odd years of it, and I thought it'd never end. It's a quarter of my life, you know what I mean? Half of my life right now. I don't think Rooney got the credit he deserves. He's never in the past start 11 United teams. Used to run all over the place. Remember, so Steve, look, you know what? One thing I would say is that any player that played under Alex Ferguson right now would get in this team right now. Rooney, people don't understand what Rooney was. I'm talking about Rooney 2004 to 2010, Rooney. And I'm talking about Rooney, the Rooney who played with Ronaldo. When it was Ronaldo, Tevez, and Rooney, that front three was frightening. It must have frightened the live out of daylights out of our opponents. It was an absolute world-class front three. Along with Cunha, who else we get? We'd be lucky to get anyone. What I want, Beef Bully, my friend, I want Edison. I want a right wing back. I want, let's forget about defense. I want another goalkeeper. I want another goalkeeper in there. And a striker. If Man United get in, and I know, guys, I know, just don't take my word for gospel in regards to what I want, but I want Osimhen. There's rumors about Jonathan David. Jonathan David is ready to make his decision in regards to his future. Now, Jonathan David could be a free transfer. Is Jonathan David that guy? For me, my guy is Joe Gutierrez or Osimhen. Those are the two players I want because I believe those players will come into Man United and make a difference straight away. I believe that. But if we get Jonathan David, it's better than nothing. But Jonathan David is set to make his decision by the end of the week in regards to his future. And it has put Manchester United on red alert, red alert in regards to his signature. It would do because he's a free transfer. Of course, they're going to be like that at the end of the day. Of course, they're going to want Jonathan David. They're not going to want to spend money, of course. I would prefer Benjamin Seca and Cherky combination of Cunha and Delap combo. What do you prefer? I prefer your combination, Cherky. The Cherky and Sesko would be my combination too, Almac. It would, yeah. But I wouldn't argue with Cunha. I'm not convinced about Delap. I'll be honest with you, Almac. I'm not convinced about Delap. If it was Cunha and Osimhen or Cunha and Sesko, or you know what I mean, I'll say, yeah, it's not bad. You know what I mean? That's good. Frimpong is better than Dumfries, Ephraim. You're right. But Frimpong is more expensive at the moment. He's going to be wanted by... I believe that Liverpool are going to go after Dumfries. Not after Frimpong. I believe Liverpool are going to go after Frimpong because Liverpool are losing, obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to Real Madrid. I think that they will get Frimpong, in my opinion. A lot of pressure to play for Man United. A lot of players can't cope with that and don't perform to our expectations. It's very true. There's not many players in world football that can cope with the pressures of Man United, especially now, given the pressures at Man United and the pressure to succeed now that we've been 12 odd years without being successful in theory. You know, so at the end of the day, you know, this is why we got to look at personalities, not only the player, not only look at the talent, we got to look at the personality of the player. We got to look at the personality of the player now. We got to look at their mentality, what their private life is like. Are they married? You know, what their hobbies? Do they like a drink? What is their dietary plans and things like that? I think that's what Man United need to do. They do in future. Sesko and Delap attributes almost the same. Sesko is a little better, but he has also played for a better team and easier league than Delap. Good point. A good point, but I wouldn't underestimate the Bundesliga too much. Christian, we need squad depth when we qualify for the Champions League, and will be a lot of games to play. Hopefully, we qualify for the Champions League, Christian. Hopefully, some of our youth can come good and play some games in the League Cup. I agree with you. Youth is very important as well. Utilising the youth squad is going to be very important, Man United going forward, definitely. Especially in the League Cup and the FA Cup early rounds, Man United are going to need a lot of those youth players. I'm happy that we've got the likes of Aiden Heaven, obviously Fredrickson, coming through. Collier, of course, is still there. Some players who've got a little bit of experience, you know, getting a little bit of experience. Dorgu, of course, is getting experience as well. We've also got Diego Leon in the squad next season, which is important, of course. And hopefully we'll be a little bit more lucky with the injuries because Man United, what is the similarities of Man United and past seasons is that Man United have had lots of injuries. Lots of injuries happen. And, you know, we need to improve that and stem the tide when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. We definitely need to obviously figure that out with these injury problems that we keep obtaining, of course. That is a problem, of course, guys, a big problem. But one thing is for certain, this summer's going to be emotional. We are going to be here, of course, every single day, giving the transfer updates on this stream, guys. I will be back in Italy. Meeting various agents again. I was in Italy last summer. Those who were here, I was in Naples. Naples is my base. So I'll go down to Naples and I meet up with a lot of journalists and hopefully I'll be getting some on the channel. And I will be speaking to a lot of those about transfers, Man United transfers and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer. It's going to be a hell of a summer, guys. Yeah, and I've got an interview in Qatar. I'm going to be going to Qatar for a little brief period, and then I'm going to be talking about Man United, and then I'm going to be going to Italy from there. And yeah, it's going to be great. And hopefully, look, it's going to be emotional, guys. It's going to be emotional. There's going to be different names thrown out there. There's going to be different players coming out there. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's a good one. Is Gutierrez had time become so good with Amarim? Why can't he do the same with the lap? If Gutierrez has, it depends on their set of skills, Leeson. It depends, mate. Delap had the luxury of playing in Portugal, which is a much easier league than the Premier League. The Premier League, you don't get time. You don't get time to breathe. In the Premier League, you don't get time to get better. You got to be there, good there and then. Otherwise, you lose games, and that's the difference. As a United fan, it's not hopefully, I know we'll qualify for the Champions League. Big up, Christian. Love your positivity, Christian. Thank you. Is it good Ahmed and De Ligt are back? Very good. Very good. Glad to have Ahmed back. Look, when we look at Man United's team right now, and we look at IQ, Man United right now don't have many players who've got a good IQ. Leach has got a good IQ. De Ligt has a good IQ. Ahmed has a good IQ. Those have not been playing for Man United recently. Those players. We need the IQ of Ahmed, especially in the attacking. We need him. We need him. Right? And to be honest with you, I'm glad he's back in training. Hopefully he's back for the second leg against Bilbao. That'd be brilliant. What a boost that would be. I wouldn't take McTominay back story, absolutely not. He's in a league that suits him. That's more on his level. I have a big connection to Naples, right? I know that the league is not as strong as the Premier League. He's good for them. He's not going to elevate Man United. Would it have been the first player I would have sold? Probably not. But he's good for Napoli. And you see his level when he plays for Scotland. When he, like, for example, when he plays for Scotland, you see him against England and teams like he's nothing. You know, so at the end of the day, he's good in Serie A. It's his level. It doesn't mean he's good enough for Man United. And we need to move on from that. And he wasn't good enough for Man United for many years. Do you fancy Liverpool winning the Premier League next season? I don't even want to think about it, Gladiator King. I believe, and I like to believe, that Ruben Amorim is going to be back this summer. He's going to be back this summer. I believe that he's going to be back this summer. And if he's back this summer, maybe we can do something about it. Maybe we can make the league more competitive, you know? Maybe we can do that. One thing's for certain is that Liverpool would improve. And if Liverpool go out and buy Frimpong, and we're going out and buying Liam Delap, who's improving here? Let's be real. Who's improving here? Because right now, I'm only seeing decline. I'm not seeing improvement at the end of the day. Good IQ, most stupid, I hear. We don't have any IQ in our team, and you can't buy that. Story. You can't buy IQ. You can't, as I said at the top of the show, you can't turn Peter Crouch into prime Ronaldinho, can you? At the end of the day, it's just the way nature is. Their body's not inclined to do that. And to be honest with you, we have too many players that don't have IQ in our squad. They don't have up here. Now, people want to talk a lot about Garnacho. Now, Garnacho's the only player in our squad who looks forward. Doesn't pass back, doesn't pass sideways, looks forward. He's not perfect. We know that. He's 20 years old. He's not going to be perfect, right? And his decision-making in the last final third is where it destroys him in a way. Because if he fixed his decision-making in the final third, we've got some player on our hands. We've got some player on our hands. If he could fix his decision-making in the final third, that would be brilliant. But right now, like, you know what? I would say that at least he gets the ball forward. Liverpool are targeting Kirkes, Frimpong, Dean Hudson. They might not drop off. They're not going to drop off Almac. Chelsea are not going to drop off. Man City are not going to drop off. Arsenal are not going to drop off. I'm hearing Arsenal already striking deal for Zubimendi and Gyökeres. So what happens if Arsenal get Gyökeres and Zubimendi? What happens to Man United? If we're getting Wharton and Liam Delap, we're not going to get Wharton anyway. But if we get a Liam Delap, are we going to get better than them, or are we going to decline? We're going to fall further and further behind, ain't we? Steve, Sal, do you think any players that we've had over the last 10, 15 years would have suited Amorim's style of play? Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm going to be honest. I think players that would have suited Ruben Amorim's style of play over these last few years. Probably someone like a Di Maria. As much as we hate him, he would have suited his style of football. Probably Ibrahimovic, Cavani would have been brilliant up front for him, definitely. Think Thinking of maybe Memphis might have done well in that system with the two behind the strikers. Maybe Memphis Depay would have done good there, in my opinion. He might have done good there, if I'm being honest. Yeah, lots of players. I mean, if we're talking about 10 years, we're talking about 2015. So Wayne Rooney would have been perfect in the number 10 sort of position. Would have been brilliant for Man United. Would have brought the team forward and stuff. Yeah, quite a few. The thing we're going out to is this conversation rate. First rate assist, I think it's the worst in the league. If he's increased to 20, so we've got some play. That's the thing, Charles, isn't it? And that is where he needs to improve. That is where the IQ comes in. And that is what I'm talking about, IQ. IQ is so important in football. And Man United, Ahmad is still young. Ahmad has an IQ. You know, he would do things that you wouldn't expect. You remember the game against Man City and he got the goal at the end? That sort of click. He knew that ball was going over the top. He knew when to change that ball, to chase that ball, and he knew to bury the ball in the corner. He knew how to control and cushion that ball into the corner. That's IQ. That's IQ for me. Now, he's not perfect. He doesn't always pass the ball. He is predictable sometimes. But for me, I could see an IQ in Ahmad. But he's not the finished article. Why we have a low IQ and others not? Have City, Liverpool have big IQ players. What about Wolves? They have something IQ. It's been the way we've been run, story, in my opinion. The way we've been run as a football team. We're not getting to know players. We're not getting to know personalities like Alex Ferguson used to do when he used to get to know these personalities and stuff like that. He used to get to know them as a person, their private life and stuff. IQ is something that you're literally born with, you know. For example, you can't turn me into a master mathematician. I'm never going to be a master mathematician because I'm not a good mathematician. I'm an artist. I draw, right? I'm good at that. That is where my IQ is, right? But when it comes to maths, I can't do that. And it's a bit like some players. Some players, like Paul Scholes, for example, can see 3-4 passes ahead. They know what their third, fourth, fifth even pass is going to be before they've even got the ball. They know, they see a 360 around. It's like taking limitless tablets, like the film, right? And they've got that IQ. Some people have just got it. And some people haven't got it. And that's the way. And we need to find players that have got it, that are 2 steps ahead of the game. Always 2 steps ahead of the game. Always ready to read the game properly. You know? At the moment, I just feel like we got a few donkeys in that team. I like Harry Maguire. And he's good to bring up front in the last minute, but he is a donkey. You know, those type of players. You know, you look at certain players, they look a bit like Bambi on ice. You know what I mean? They're not like in control of the game. That's IQ. Is John Garcia the best option? Seems a good mix of quality for a reasonable price. I like Senny Lamens. I wouldn't go for John Garcia. He reminds me of Onana. He reminds me of him. He's a good goalkeeper, but it will cost a lot more than Senny Lamens. Senny Lamens will cost about 20 million. If I was to do anything to save money, I would get Kova back. I would get Kova back, in my opinion. If I would do anything in regards to goalkeeping, I'll get Kova back or VTech. Free transfer. Available game, Besiktas Roma did them. Got to just score, stay calm, be shrewd, and we have scored for absolutely. But if you got to believe as well, absolutely. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I feel like Ineos is preparing something special for the transfer season. Absolutely. Gladiator King, Scott McTominay is balling for Level. He would do. Serie A is not the Premier League. Serie A is not La Liga. Serie A is not even the French. I mean, when you look at Serie A, when was the last Serie A team to win in Europe? I made a trophy. Atalanta. Didn't they win the Conference League? That's about it. Think about the last Serie A club to win a major Champions League or something like that. You're going way, way back, ain't we? We're going way back. Back into time. 20 years. Is it? Inter Milan. 12 years ago. Was it more than 12 years ago? It was 13 years ago, wasn't it? 2011? 14 years ago. 14 years ago is the last time an Italian team won the Champions League. And that was under Jose Mourinho. Milan won it, Yale, in 2007. 2007 is the last time they won it, Milan. We're talking 20 odd years. Guys, look, you know what I mean? We're talking a long time here, guys. Closer to 20 years when you're talking about AC Milan. AC Milan faced Juventus in 2003. I believe AC Milan won the game on penalties at Old Trafford. Right? 2004 was Porto. 2005 was Liverpool. 2006 was... Correct me if I'm wrong. I forgot. I'm trying to remember. Was it Milan? No, it wasn't Milan. Bayern Munich. 2007 was AC Milan. 2008, Man United. There we go. And I mean, they haven't done too well. He had a wonderful game yesterday. It's Serie A. It's easier. So IQ players are quite rare in life. IQ doesn't mean much, like having a good memory. I mean, IQ is important when you with sharpness. But what I don't like is people who just say that IQ in one subject. For example, maths or English or things like that. You have an IQ. But some people are good articulately, like art, like drawing and stuff like that. Some people are good at sports. It's just the way it is at the end of the day. You know, but it's not the be all and end all. Inter, a long time ago, absolutely. A long time ago. Absolutely. John Garcia has released for 21 minutes earlier. Let's get him there now, Mac. Why don't we get him? We won't get him, though. That's the thing. Charlie, 06 and Inter won in 09. Yeah, that's it. How long ago was that, Charlie? They consistently reach semi-finals and a few. The top teams are competitive. They're not, mate. When they end up playing good teams, they end up losing. That's what happens. They end up losing. Serie A is not the Premier League. McTominay is not good enough for a title challenging league team. It's as simple as that. And I watched McTominay's whole career. And I watch Serie A almost every game. It's slow. It's not the Premier League. It's slow. Santos, Eredivisie, Turkey, Gugez, Osman, that would be a good window. Absolutely. Rebound 7 Serie A wasn't like the gold age in the 80s and 90s. That's why I'm not on hype with players like Edison, etc. It's a good point, Ed. It's a good point. And that you have to keep this in mind. People have to keep this in mind that Serie A is not the league it used to be in the 90s, right? And I could tell you the 90s teams off the cuff right now. Do you know what I mean? And the 90s compared to now, I mean, in football in general, football's just not what it used to be. Football's just not what it used to be. Football talent has regressed immensely. If we're still talking about as Man United still putting it and saying, oh, we need McTominay back, we're dead. McTominay is nothing but a dead baller in the 90s. We need to look at our standards. You know what I mean? And that includes the players today. I'm not saying that McTominay's not better than Højlund or he's not better than whoever's in our team right now. I'm just saying that we need to look at levels here. And we need to look at the overriding evidence from the last, how long is it now? 8 years from McTominay to now. Good morning, by the way. Christian, Inter Milan won the treble with Jose just before the World Cup in South. A long time ago, Christian. Matthew Upson was playing for England. You know what I mean? David James was playing for England. You know? It was a long time ago. Football's changed a lot. Italian football hasn't been good in Europe for 15 years. And that's to do with a number of things. Corruption is one of them. I work a lot with Italian football, and I know that it isn't even in the conversation now, even with the Bundesliga. It's a league you have to be very careful of. You know, you have to be very careful that, you know, these things in regards to look at context. I hope Rasmus' confidence in front of goal has a boost scoring on Sunday. We'll have to wait and see. Ahmad, we misprofiled McTominay. The coaches thought he was a central midfielder, whereas he is a striker. But he played a lot of times as a striker. I won't go there. Accountability is most important. He's not as good as people think. He's not. Let's not talk about stupid misprofiling shit. Because at the end of the day, he's a bit part player. It's it. We got to stop going back as Man United fans. I mean, oh, McTominay, we should have never sold McTominay. This revisionism. Stop it. Stop it. This is what's harming us going forward. Absolutely. McTominay is better than Mount. Mount has been a disaster. He's better than Mount. I agree with that. I mean, it's not hard. Mount's never on the pitch. Sal, what do you think of people comparing on Amram's coaching ability that he is not able to change a mentality of the current players with a higher mentality? Like, how can Conte can? Conte has a far better winning mentality squad than what Amram has. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. At the end of the day, as I said, you can lead a cow to the river. Doesn't mean they're going to drink from the river. You can take Peter Crouch and not turn him into Ronaldinho. Conte's situation is different. He's got a whole array of great players in his squad right now. You know what I mean? And it is in Italy. It's different. Tell him to come to the Premier League and manage Man United. He would have been sacked by now. Even Lukaku is playing well in Italy. That says that he scores goals in Italy. A lot of goals. I mean, I could do with him right now. At least he'll score some goals for Man United at the end of the day. But yeah, you know, Serie A's Conte, Serie A is not the Premier League. Again, the Premier League is the best league in the world. And I would argue that with anyone. England are in course to win the Conference League, the Europa League, and the Premier and the Champions League this season. It could quite possibly happen, guys. Chelsea are definitely winning the Conference League. Man United and Tottenham are definitely winning the Europa League. Right? Right. Let's look at that, right? Let's look at that. Now, that's down to Arsenal. If Arsenal win the Champions League, that's 3. You know what I mean? No one can say shit about the Premier League anymore. It's a completely different league. I would never have signed him Gladiator King, but it doesn't mean that McTominay's any better. They're just as bad as one another, in my opinion. Guess Inter will win the Champions League better than any English team. No, Arsenal will beat Inter over 2 legs. Otherwise, the mainstream media would have ripped him apart. Let me tell you something, Gladiator King, about this English thing. And I don't like bringing xenophobia into the stream because I'm not about that. I'm English. All right? The only people who have had death threats in our squad are Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Okay? So just bear that in mind. It's not about English. It's not about that. Mason Mount played for Vitesse Arnhem with Erik ten Hag, which is the reason he signed for Man United. I didn't rate him. I didn't want him, but it's just that he won the Player of the Season with Chelsea and he won the Champions League with Chelsea. Their Player of the Season that season. So let's be a little bit more fair and enough of the xenophobia. It is English football, by the way. English football. Just remember that. Right? Leeson, do you think Lautaro Martinez would be good now if he plays for us? I don't know, Leeson, until he does. Who would buy Mount now? Man United is cursed. No one's going to buy Mason Mount now with his injury record. Without 7. Delap, Cunha, Kirkis, Kimmich. It sounds like a lovely summer, Beef. But I don't think it's going to happen. It does sound like a lovely summer, to be honest with you. It sounds nice. It sounds like a good summer, in my opinion. Will it happen? Nah, probably not. Probably not. We don't need a left back, by the way, Beef Bully. We got enough left backs, Beef Bully. We've got Diego Leon, let's not forget. We've got Dorgu, let's not forget. We still got Malacia. We still got Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? We still got Harry Amas. Let's not forget that 5 left backs. We're not going to sign another left back. I didn't want Mount either. But you know what? Him and McTominay, it's not like worlds of difference. It's not like worlds apart. McTominay wouldn't get in the England squad. You know what I mean? Big up Sal, Luke Shaw got death threats for eating everyone's lunch. There you go. Big up SLD. I wanted Kane though. Kane would have changed a lot of things. Definitely. Was never happening though. Kane would have changed a lot of things at Man United. He would have changed a lot of things. Absolutely. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Maybe Mount can get out of the curse by leaving. He won't leave. The amount of money he's on. We fucked up with that one, Gladiator King, my friend. Looks like we're stuck with Rashford as he is injured. I know. Another one, isn't it? Wow, how's your luck? How's your luck? It's ridiculous at the end of the day. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Keep your notifications on. Chatterbox will be back tomorrow. for the match preview today or tomorrow. It depends when they're doing the press conference. I'm not sure when they're doing the press conference for Man United against Bilbao. It's either today or tomorrow. I'm not sure, but yeah, I will be doing the match preview for Man United against Athletic Bilbao, of course, coming up very soon. Keep your notifications on for Chatterbox. And guys, and when I go live, it'd be great. It's great to have you guys on board. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Have a fantastic day. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. Peace.